Hey, I'm Michelle, a family nurse practitioner. I primarily focus on weight loss with microdosing of GLP-1 medications. So, one of the questions I get asked a lot is how quickly can I lose weight? And one thing I always caution my patients is that I do not want them to lose their weight quickly. And there's several different reasons for that. One is that when we lose weight, we do lose some muscle mass, okay? And so we want to minimize that as much as possible. And losing weight slowly while also focusing on your protein intake is the best way to do that. When you want to lose fat, not muscle, right? So that's a real concern when you're dropping your weight too quickly. Another issue with losing your weight slowly is that it can cause gallstones to develop. Now, often gallbladder issues are already highly associated with being overweight or obese anyway. So that organ is under stress, you can say, in those populations. So we don't want to add any fuel to the fire, so to speak. So if you lose weight rapidly, that can definitely happen. If you get gallstones, it can lead to an infection, issues with your gallbladder, and you need to have it surgically removed. Now, you may be like, a lot of my patients already have had your gallbladder removed. Even in that case, you're still not out of the woods because you can still get pancreatitis with rapid weight loss for any reason, not really just a side effect of the GLP-1 medications, just a side effect of rapid weight loss, which makes you very, very sick. You definitely don't want to experience that and avoid it if you possibly can. Um, and then you can have nutrient deficiencies. You're losing weight, you're not eating as much, and oftentimes we're even I tell my patients, even when we are eating plenty of food, oftentimes we're not eating the best foods. And there's a lot of studies showing that there's not the same nutrients and vitamins in our foods now compared to maybe say 100 years ago, just because our soil has been farmed again and again and it's often depleted. So one thing I do is typically recommend that my patients are on a good multivitamin that is created from food, not synthetic or ones with fillers. It's really all the time is usually my recommendations, but especially when you're trying to lose weight to help with those nutritional deficiencies. Um, Also, another big reason why you don't want to lose your weight quickly is it doesn't take very long for your body to think that you're starving. And then in response, it will slow your metabolism. And then you just cannot lose weight at all. So you really want to work with your body and lose your weight nice and slow so your body doesn't freak out and work against you. You really want to keep your metabolism as high as possible, which means you do want to be sure that you're taking in enough and not losing your weight too quickly. What's the recommendation, right? How fast can you lose your weight? Um, Typically, I tell my patients I don't want them to lose more than a couple of pounds on average a week. Now, that means that maybe one week you lose 3 pounds and next week you lose no pounds, or maybe just 1 pound. That's still averaging out to no more than a couple of pounds a week because um, your weight loss, unfortunately, it's just not steady as she goes. You're going to go up a little and then down a little and up a little and then back down a little bit more. It's just a back and forth. So you can't just expect to get on the weight and drop some weight every single time you step on the scale. I mean, not the weight that you step on the scale. So you want it to be on average no more than a couple pounds a week. You don't want to just drop it super quick. Now, occasionally I have patients that will lose at the beginning a little more quickly than that, and I'll just say let's don't go up on your medication because they're gung ho, they go all in, they're watching what they eat, they're exercising, they're drinking their water, they're upping the protein, they're doing all the things all at one time, and it really drops their weight pretty quickly. But we try to just slow it down as much as possible so that we're not going too quickly. And a lot of times people may only lose 1 pound a week or even half a pound a week. It's okay. We really try to focus on helping our patients institute new habits while they're losing weight nice and slow so that they really become second nature, because half the battle is losing the weight and the other half of the battle is keeping the weight off. So you really want to give yourself time to really make things kind of second nature as far as your habits go. The things we typically have our patients focus on is increasing the protein intake. And we usually recommend some intermittent fasting. Initially, just 12 hours, which most people do anyway, kind of naturally, but being thoughtful and mindful of that so they can make that a habit. So, those are my 2 cents on how quickly you can lose weight. Now, I have seen patients that um, get on, semaglutide or tirzepatide or whatever, and just drop the weight really quickly. Not as It's definitely not healthy. Lots of potential for side effects, and most often it's not sustainable. Most of those patients are going to gain it right back. So let's avoid that. Just go nice and slow. Get it done right the first time so you don't have to do it again. If you have any questions about any of that, you can just ask me below and I'll be happy to answer them.